Hey y'all, it's your host Davian. Welcome to another episode of ConsciouzTv. Make sure you rate, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Hit all when you do so that you can keep up with all of my latest uploads. You can also donate to the show at my Cash App, which is $ConsciouzTv, or my PayPal at paypal.me/ConsciouzTv. And you can also email me at ConsciouzTv@gmail.com. And all of the information will be in the description box below. Now, I am outside enjoying this nice summer breeze. It is a beautiful night in South Carolina. And while it is paradise for ConsciouzTv, it is a living nightmare for Armon Wiggins right now. But if you hear any type of feedback into the microphone, it is because the breeze and the wind is blowing. FYI. So let's get into this. So I'm going to tell you right now, I have not figured out all of my thoughts on this situation with Armon Wiggins yet. For those of you who don't know, Armon Wiggins' YouTube channel was completely removed and taken down yesterday due to some transphobic remarks he made on Twitter regarding a rant against his rival T.S. Madison, who took some subliminal shots at Armon during her Queen radio interview with the Queen Minaj herself. And despite Armon taking to his YouTube channel to review the episode that featured both Madison and Joe Budden, where he tried to act like he wasn't pressed about Madison's remarks, but as we can see from Twitter said otherwise. Now, initially people thought it was the Maddie Mob coupled with Madison herself who had Armon's channel removed. Then some people speculated it was Wendy Williams and her team because of all the messy testimonials Tokyo Tony spilled in her exclusive interview with Armon Wiggins over the weekend. But after all the fans put their master's degree in nosology to good use, we discovered that it was actually fellow YouTuber King of Reads, aka Justin J himself, who saw some of the transphobic remarks made by Armon down his Twitter feed and asked his subscribers as a birthday gift could they go and report Armon's Twitter page. This was later confirmed when fellow YouTuber Tracy Living in My Truth took to her social media platform to cover the topic, and Justin J called in to confirm that he did initially ask his followers to report Armon's Twitter page, and that was it. But we know Justin J's fans go hard and are a big supporter of the LGBT community, and that Madison also has a thorough following that will kill, steal, and die for her. So of course Twitter wasn't just the first piece of blood the fans wanted to draw from Armon. They came for his bread and butter, which was his YouTube channel. Now Armon Wiggins is probably somewhere crying and rocking in a corner, pissed and wanting to fight everybody and their mama, cause he nor any of us saw this coming at all. Now, first thing I want to say is stop blaming Madison every time somebody who's against her falls and crumbles. It's called karma. And she got half an inch of ponytail, a cherry soda, wears her flip-flops with socks, and smokes blacks down to the filters. Secondly, this goes to show how dangerous the fan bases are, because they jump to conclusions real fast due to heightened emotionalism, and was about to get a whole viral social media war started between Armon's supporters and Madison's followers over a situation Madison had no part in to begin with. Now, Justin J is my baby daddy. I love him and adore him, and simply put, Justin J did the right thing. He believed the comments were intolerable and offensive, and the Twitter platforms allow for those offenses to come with consequences. Whether 100 people spew hate towards the community daily and get away with it on Twitter or not, Armon Wiggins isn't one of those lucky persons. He ended up in the wrong Twitter feed. So anyone who has an issue with Justin's decision to have the remarks reported can take it up with Twitter and not with the king himself. Now, to take this convo onto a different road, these issues are not really as clear in black and white as many people may think. When it comes to queer folk using gay slurs toward each other, it's not always because there's self-hate or homophobia driving the slurs. There's a little known street code called the in-house rule, whereas sometimes people of the same community will use insults of any nature to damage each other, as all people do in beefs and conflict with each other, even if it's a slur that's recognized as offensive by the one using the slur on another. For example, black people using the term nigger offensively toward each other gets a pass until someone white or non-black says it to a black person, or the term bitch amongst females is used against females, but may be received differently if a man uses the term offensively toward a female. Now, nobody cares enough about Armon's truth to sit here and do an entire scientific study on whether the boy is or isn't trans or homophobic. The truth is, this isn't Armon's first time hurling the F word around and having sentiments that felt and came across as homo and transphobic. And when your actual bread and butter is one of these platforms you want to use politically incorrect terminology on, then you pretty much are asking to be fired by Google. And when giving your freedom papers, you should take that L with your head held high and be mad at nobody but yourself, because there are Patreon, Tumblr, and many other outlets he could have utilized if he wanted to be unhinged without missing a Google AdSense check in the process. Now, as it relates to censorship, I'm going to be honest. I ain't for the censored world we live in. This is one of those social sentiments I wish would not have become law or policy, because I feel like we're getting a little bit too caught up on language are going to eventually be silenced and reduced to Nickelodeon actors ourselves. I look at YouTubers like Justin J, who used to really use colorful language, who has had to watch his own words now when he speaks, and even though he plays by the rules now, I can tell he wishes he didn't have to bear consequence for speaking his mind freely when he wants to, because none of us do. Now, there's a difference between hate speech, hate rhetoric, and roasting and gagging someone, and there should be stipulations against hate speech. And even though it's clear and undebatable that Armon's choice words were littered with transphobia, only Armon himself knows if those words were uttered by a heart that actually hates people like him. Now, do I feel bad for Armon? No, not really, because he called out Jessica Kohinoor months back during his beef with Tasha K, when Tasha interviewed with Jessica, a very well-known trans blogger, where he proceeded to basically tell Jessica that she was a tap dancing, self-hating trans coon for allowing someone like Tasha K, who has also said some very questionable things about the LGBT community, particularly trans women, to come onto Jessica's platform, where Tasha K openly spoke about her belief that some trans women are not trans, they're just mentally ill, and Jessica went along with the narrative. So to see Armon call out another queer person for so-called being homophobic, to only turn around and make the statements he did against another trans woman, makes him a hypocrite. And it also makes him unemployed, because despite how many content creators feel like they're an entrepreneur and a brand, you don't work for yourself, you work for Google. And if your only business is YouTube, you have no business, in fact, until you're the one cutting yourself a check. And since that ain't the case, the lesson here is you can't say what you want on social media, whether you mean it or not. And if you're a content creator who's making a living off social media, like Armon Wiggins, who quit his whole job to do YouTube full time and got to almost 60K subscribers, you certainly need to be more cautious about how you enter into a war of words with other people. Because one thing about Tasha K is she might be getting 26 out of her 27-piece glue-in wig sued out of her head by every celebrity, but she ain't dumb enough to spew her mess on her main channel. She got a backup channel, a Patreon, and an underground bunker to report from to maintain her business. Everyone's saying Armon got arrogant, he talks over guests, he hangs up on callers, he was feeling himself. Look, that's damn near everybody on YouTube. The only reason the man's channel isn't standing is because of his remarks about a community that the Google Corporation doesn't tolerate, and the fans made sure to report him on both Twitter and YouTube. Now, this could still be seen as karma. Yes, it can. Should he be more wise if and when he returns? Yes, he should. But will this humble him? I don't believe so. I believe he's even more hot with the LGBT community, and he'll only be wise enough to talk his mess on a platform he doesn't care about existing or not. But I don't believe he necessarily sees anything wrong with his language, and I know that he doesn't agree that he deserves this, but certainly he should consider some things, because too many trans women are being murdered for any of us to be hurling those type of remarks to a trans woman openly, even if it's out of anger or being petty. When people are dying over being othered and viewed as a freak of nature, no behavior that licenses that should be tolerated. So Armon, I hope your tarot card skills are enriching, because bitch, rent is due and YouTube ain't covering the lights. That is my commentary. You guys leave your remarks down below. I know we covered a few things: censorship and flagging and hate speech and personal right and all this shit, and homophobic homosexuals and the in-house rules. So you guys just leave all your comments and opinions below. Make sure you comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and hit all when you do, so you can keep up with all my latest uploads. All of the donation information will be in the description box below. You can donate to the show at my Cash App, which is $ConsciouzTv, or my PayPal, which is paypal.me/ConsciouzTv, and you can email me at ConsciouzTv@gmail.com. Catch you later.